Hey everyone, my name is Doug Smith and I'm the Department Chair of the Computer Aided Design Program at Austin Community College. In this video, I'm going to talk about preparing a portfolio to seek a job in the CAD field. A CAD portfolio is a collection of your technical drawings that you can use to showcase your knowledge and skills to a prospective employer. Along with CAD drawings, your portfolio may include freehand sketches, design projects, and even photos of things you've designed and built. Use this course as an opportunity to design and create a portfolio that will showcase the best of your technical drawing and CAD skills and be valuable to you in the future. Ask yourself how you intend to use your portfolio. For most students, this would be to supplement an interview for a CAD job. Other students may create a portfolio to include in their admissions packet for a university architecture or engineering program. If your portfolio is targeted to seek a CAD job, decide which field you will look for. For example, you can look for a job in architecture, civil, mechanical, electrical, electronics, and focus your portfolio on the technical drawings from those fields or from that field. Begin the process of making your portfolio by making a list of advanced CAD courses you've taken, and then make a list of the projects you created in those courses. Then narrow the list down to the top 10 or 15 projects. Rank the projects based on how complex they are. You want your drawings to cover a broad spectrum of the knowledge, theory, and techniques that you mastered in that field. These projects are the raw materials from which you will build your portfolio. Here's an example of how you might link the outcomes in your portfolio to the coursework you took. If you're an architectural CAD major at Austin Community College, you probably took the courses listed on this slide. For example, Architectural Graphics 1, Architecture Design 1, Architectural Drafting, Advanced Technologies in Architecture. This is the Intro to Revit course. Architectural Drafting, Commercial, Structural Drafting, Mechanical, Electrical, Plumbing. And so these are the courses that you're going to use to make your portfolio from. You'll need to restore the CAD files from the classes above and open them in the CAD program you used to create them with, for example, Revit and AutoCAD. You'll also need an Adobe Acrobat Reader, a snipping tool, and PowerPoint. You can use fancier software if you want, but for this course, that's pretty much all that's required. If you're a civil student, you would draw your work from these courses: GIS Intro, Civil Drafting, Topographical, Water and Wastewater, Stormwater, Civil Design Visualization. Mechanical majors will draw their work from Inventor courses and Mastercam courses and Creo and SolidWorks and Advanced Engineering Graphics courses, and also the Machine Drafting course. Courses also where you use geometric dimensioning and tolerancing. Electronic majors will draw their coursework from these courses, including Integrated Circuit 1, Integrated Circuits 2, Printed Circuit Board, Integrated Circuits 3, and then they can choose some other things like electrical, electronic drafting, and maybe even the mechanical drafting course where they used Inventor. Although actually another good course could even be the mechanical, electrical, plumbing course from the architectural program, as long as you've taken the Revit prerequisite. Interdisciplinary CAD majors will choose from the courses on their degree. In every case, though, you'll need to have the CAD software loaded on your computer that enables you to open the work from all of these courses. For interdisciplinary students, that may mean AutoCAD, Revit, Inventor, SolidWorks, Civil 3D. If we back up and look at the electronics courses, you may need Cadence Virtuoso, Cadence Allegro, and or CAD. For mechanical majors, you may need Inventor, Creo, SolidWorks, and Mastercam. We already covered what was required in those other courses, so I'm going to skip on to the minimum portfolio requirements. Most portfolios that I review will contain between 30 to 40 outstanding technical drawings. But as a minimum, your portfolio must contain 25 sheets that contain technical drawings or graphics that showcase your abilities with CAD and technical drawing techniques. So what I'm talking here of that 25 sheets, I'm not including things like your title sheet, divider sheets, a table of contents. Those don't count toward the 25. We need to have 25 that show actual technical drawings or graphics. If you're enrolled in an online course, you will submit your PDF to me you'll submit your portfolio to me at the end as a PDF file with 17 by 11-inch sheets. Later, you can print these and include them in a physical portfolio. If you submit a physical portfolio, it should be in a professional binder or folio case approved by your professor, and I'll show you some examples of this a little later in this video. Only include work from your advanced A&E CAD courses. There's no point in showing drawings from your basic technical drawing course. Only show things that are more like what your prospective employer probably does day to day on their job. And those generally come from advanced classes. Be sure that you can explain why a drawing was chosen for inclusion in the portfolio. Be sure that you can explain the techniques, the knowledge, and the skills, or the software that the drawing illustrates. Avoid redundancies. For example, you probably don't need 2 sheets of architectural foundation details that essentially show the same thing. Each sheet should have some distinctive technique or key knowledge that you want to bring to show. Be sure that you can defend any drawing you include in your portfolio if asked about it in a job interview. Defending a drawing could include such things as explaining what the drawing's graphics represent, the symbology included on the drawing, and or the CAD software and techniques used to prepare the drawing. Drawings should be mistake-free. No dimensional mistakes or drawing errors. Drawings should not contain misspelled words or formatting errors. Drawings should comply with drawing conventions and dimensioning standards that exist for the type of drawing you've included. For example, dimensioning of mechanical drawings should comply with the ASME 14.5-2009. Drawings should be prepared with title blocks and borders that are appropriate to the discipline. The first page of the portfolio should include a title page that will have your name along with other information. Some students like to make the first page a table of contents along with their name. A lot of times, the title page contains original graphics. It may even look a little bit arty. Be sure, though, that the graphics you include on the title page are graphics that you created and not something you just found on the internet and pasted into your portfolio. You may separate the sections of your portfolio by subject or by CAD software. We leave that to you, and that's part of the graphic design of your portfolio. The workflow for creating a portfolio will follow next, and I also want to point out that the steps that I'm showing you here are included in detail in Module 1 of Blackboard. Module 1 of Blackboard also contains videos and PDFs that will guide you through the portfolio process. Step 1, make a list of the advanced courses required in your degree or certificate. Step 2, make a list of the major drawings or projects you created in the courses identified in Step 1. Then, create an outline for your portfolio showing which drawings or projects you think you might want to use in your portfolio. narrow the list down to the projects that you consider to be portfolio worthy. The outline shown at right here represents an example of a comprehensive portfolio prepared for an architectural CAD major. So they've listed the residential drafting course, the introduction to BIM course, their structural drafting course, their commercial architecture course, the architecture course called architectural drawing. They've also included some other courses from related fields like the topographical drafting and the civil drafting course. This student has also put in their mechanical drafting. Now, this is just the outline, and this is what you will present to me on the date assigned in your syllabus or in Blackboard. And you can always change your mind about these courses, but this is your first step, is just to look at the courses you've taken and consider the projects from those courses and start to decide on which ones you will include in your portfolio. You can find an example outline in Module 1 of Blackboard. In Step 3, you'll create a rough draft or a mock-up of your portfolio that includes the drawings you intend to use. You will submit this to me as part of the midterm portfolio review on the date listed in the syllabus. So what is due at the midterm portfolio review? You can mock up a rough draft of your portfolio that includes drawings and graphics from advanced classes in your major field of study. These can even be 8.5 by 11 drawings at this time, because they're not in their final form. These are the drawings you intend to revise or redline markups of your drawings that your instructors made in previous courses that you intend to make corrections to. These may include projects that have been reviewed and marked up by yourself, A&E CAD tutors, or former faculty members. What I'm looking for in the midterm review is a rough layout of your portfolio so I can just determine if you are moving in the right direction. In the midterm portfolio, you can include placeholders for things like title sheets or divider pages, and all these need to be are just pieces of paper that say, stick the title sheet here. This is a divider sheet for the structural section, for example. They don't have to be fancy or printed out. These can be handwritten and just put in places as placeholders in a PowerPoint slideshow, for example. Here's something that's important. If you are currently enrolled in an advanced drafting course or CAD course, speak with your instructor about the class projects that will be created by the end of the semester. Plan on how these projects will be used in your portfolio and include placeholders in your draft portfolio for these projects, because you haven't made these yet, but you know you'll probably use them. So you'll need some guidance from your current instructor about how many sheets that you'll probably make and what the types of sheets will be. Step 4, locate and restore the drawing files and the projects you created in the courses identified in steps 1 and 2. Now you may have these drawing projects saved at home. If not, we have been backing up your work at the college, and we back up work for up to 5 years. There are steps shown in Blackboard that will tell you how to get the work that we've backed up at the college so that you can use it in your portfolio class. So consult Blackboard for this. Step 5, begin the revisions of the projects and the drawings that you restored in Step 4. If you need an instructor to redline your drawings from a previous course, what you might do is print those out and see if you can set up an appointment to meet with your former instructor during their office hours to go over the drawings and make sure that you've identified and corrected all the mistakes and that you understand the drawings in your portfolio. Now, if you did not keep the red lines from a class and the instructor did do red lines when they were grading your projects, remember that the instructor doesn't have to do this, and so you should approach this accordingly. Be very courteous. Say, hey, I can't find my red lines from your course. Is there a time when I can meet with you during your office hours to go over these drawings? Step 6, capture high-resolution images of the drawings revised in Step 5 and save them to a folder. So a lot of times this is how that works. You'll open the CAD program that you use to create the drawing, and then you open the drawing, and then what you want to do is print or save the drawing as a PDF. Then open the PDF, and usually what the PDF will have is a pretty high resolution capture or a pretty high resolution image of the drawing that you saved or printed as a PDF. You can zoom in on the PDF or whatever you need to do to get to the area that you want to capture, and then use a snipping tool to capture the areas you want to include on a page in your portfolio, and save the captures to a folder as image files like PNGs or JPEGs or whatever, and you'll use those later to insert into the slides of your PowerPoint when you build your portfolio. There is a video showing this process in Module 1 of Blackboard. Step 7, open PowerPoint and set up a slide that's 17 by 11. This will be your template slide. Add a border, add text, do the graphic design that you want to do because you're creating this template, and save it. Then make 30 or 40 copies of that slide inside PowerPoint and save the PowerPoint file again. This is covered in a video in Module 1 of Blackboard. Now that you have all your slides, the template slides made in PowerPoint, you'll insert the high resolution images that you captured in Step 6 into the slides. This is also covered in a video in Module 1 of Blackboard. Step 9, you're going to edit the images that you inserted into the slides. You can crop them, scale them, move them, rotate them, whatever you need to do to make each slide look great. You'll also produce a title page and divider pages. Now this is the graphic design part of creating a portfolio. And if you're not good with graphic design, you may want to get some help with this. Maybe find a student from a graphic design program or a friend who has a good eye to help you with this. Move the slides around within the PowerPoint to get them into the desired order. Note, it's usually better to begin the portfolio with complex projects and work your way backward to less complicated projects, rather than make the interviewer set through your less complicated work. That way you can wow the interviewer from the very first slide. Step 10, assemble the final portfolio, including the title page, the drawing sheets, the dividers, and prepare to answer questions in defense of your portfolio. Save the portfolio and print it as a 17-inch by 11-inch PDF file. So we're converting the PowerPoint to a PDF now. Send the PDF to 3 people for a review. These could be tutors, former faculty members, fellow portfolio students, maybe professionals maybe an architect or an engineer who would review your portfolio. Ask them to review it and give you feedback on the portfolio review form provided by your instructor. You can also print this form from Module 1 in Blackboard. Step 12, make revisions to your portfolio slides incorporating the feedback gathered in Step 11 and reprint the PDF. In Step 13, if this course is a 100% online course, email the final PDF to me for my review. Include the final portfolio review form on that email. If this course is a hybrid course, which means we meet face-to-face occasionally, the final review will probably be face-to-face. So you'll bring a completed physical portfolio to that review. Physical portfolios. After the 17 by 11 sheets of your portfolio have been prepared in a PDF, you can print them and insert them into a portfolio case which you can carry with you to job interviews. What we recommend is the 11 by 17 Itoya Art Portfolio, available through various outlets and also on the internet. It's cheap and it looks fine and it works great. Now, you probably get this for around $20, or you could go out and buy a $100 carbon fiber portfolio. That's up to you and your budget. Itoya makes an 11 by 17 portfolio that, instead of having the spine on this side, on the back side here, actually has the spine on the left side, like over here, and so it opens more like a traditional book. Some students prefer that. The Itoya portfolios have a sleeve, a clear plastic sleeve on the back edge, and this piece of paper that you can see with the art portfolio logo and everything on it can be pulled out, and you can reinsert your own spine art. So I have an example of spine art, and the reason it looks funny, so it looks like part of it faces to the right and part of it faces to the left, is that when you print this, and generally we make this thing 17 inches long because that's how long your portfolio is. We fold it and we slide it back in place where that original sheet of paper was, and we call this spine art. And we want the spine art on this side to face this side and face down, and the spine art on the back side will face down the opposite direction, and that's why your text faces in two directions right here. We have some samples of this, and you can find that in Blackboard, and you can print that out and just edit it with your information if you want to. One hint is this: when you pull out this sheet of paper here, keep it, because it is the right size and the folds on it are in the right places, that you can use those when you're designing this sheet right here, because the dimensions need to be the same and the folds need to be in the same places. So I want to show you some sample portfolio work produced by A&E CAD students, and all of this is used by their permission. Here's a sample portfolio title page. We have the name of the student. We have a graphic. This is probably done in Inventor. And then she included a table of contents. And so you get an idea of what's going to follow. And she doesn't include page numbers. I don't recommend including page numbers. They really complicate things when you if you have to edit a page or move a page or something like that. And I don't think the person reviewing your portfolio has to have page numbers. Here's another sample portfolio page, title page, and this was made by a woman for architecture, and she actually used this as part of her application process for architecture school. But she could have used this as the lead sheet or the title sheet for a portfolio for looking for an architectural CAD job. Here's the title page created by a civil engineering CAD student, and it's very simple, but she took one of the image files she had made in the civil visualization course, and she added her name, and that was part of her graphic design, and then she put a border around that, and then she used that same slide over and over, but she just replaced this image with civil CAD images. This is a title page for a mechanical student, and he's going to show Inventor, SolidWorks, Creo, Mastercam, 3ds Max. He's even going to show some projects that are his personal project for a Supra tuner car that he's building. Here are some examples of some sheets for an architectural CAD portfolio. And remember that each of these sheets would be on a single 17 by 11 slide. So this is actually 4 different slides here. So we have elevations, floor plans, structural details, and section views, also structural details. Here are 4 sheets, including the title page, for a portfolio that included structural, MEP, commercial, primarily in Revit. This student mainly wanted to work in Revit. But here we have a sheet, and he actually has pages. He has page number 32 of some architectural elevations that were done using AutoCAD. Everything else was done using Revit. Here are some more portfolio pages for architecture. And this student made a slide. It had her name and it had these lines across here, and she had some text, and she put that on every page. You can see that's on every page. And then she would insert graphics that she had captured using a snipping tool, more than likely from a PDF. And she included some text boxes that explains what's going on in each of these drawings. Here are the sample portfolio pages for Civil CAD Portfolio. Again, this would be 4 17 by 11 sheets. These are really nicely laid out and pretty much show everything on the sheet, all the way including the title block and borders for that sheet. Not everybody does that. I'm going to go back to this sheet over here. You can see that this person has cropped their borders and title blocks and just focused in on screen captures of the actual graphics from the sheet. I think what you mainly want to do is make sure that any image you have is large enough and that the text is clear enough that you can use it in a job interview. Here are more sample sheets from Civil CAD, and this is the one I was talking about where the person designed a slide, and in the upper left corner they write Civil CAD. I think later in their portfolio they switched over and showed some architectural drawings, and so this changed to architectural CAD. But what their PowerPoint slide looked like was this rectangle in the upper left-hand corner, and then a border that went all the way around. That was on every slide. And then they did their capture of the drawing and inserted it into each border. And that's what they did on all 4 of these drawings. And I think this person had about 35 Civil CAD drawings in their portfolio. Here are sample pages from a mechanical CAD portfolio. This one shows Mastercam, which is a CNC program, and this student's project was to cut from a sheet of metal this sort of cat image that she designed. Now, here's an example of a detailed drawing, and this was chosen because she has a section view, she has a lot of dimensions on here, and it also includes geometric dimensioning and tolerancing. And she also pulled out a magnified detail view. So she shows a lot of different things on this. This page shows a drill case project that was designed using Creo and focused on plastic design. And this is a design project that we call the drafting table design project, where students design a drafting table from a single sheet of plywood. And so this makes a nice project to include in your portfolio to show some of your design skills. This portfolio was prepared by a student who was transferring to a university mechanical engineering program, and so his primary intention was to create something that he could send to the university and give them some idea of his abilities. Now later, when he graduated, he actually used this portfolio to interview for a mechanical engineering job, and he told me that this is why he got the job, because he had these skills. But everything you see here he did at Austin Community College using Inventor or SolidWorks or Pro-E. These are parts that he actually made in our machine shop using Mastercam and some CNC equipment. And so he took pictures, and he also created sort of a workflow of how he got from this piece of blank metal all the way over here to this finished part. And there's actually a quarter next to the part to give you some idea of the size of that part. Here are 4 sheets also from the mechanical area. Inventor, showing a lot of geometric dimensioning and tolerancing. More Inventor, and showing a part design. This sheet down here, he included sketches for his drill case design. And again, this focused more on plastics, and this was done in Creo. So he notes Creo here. He notes Inventor over here. This project was done in a SolidWorks class here, and so he notes SolidWorks there. So rather than having dividers in his portfolio, whenever he would change from one software to the next, he would note it in the corner of the sheet. So you can see that this was Inventor up here. Here are also some mechanical sheets. This one shows the project that this student made using Mastercam and our CNC machine. And this is an Inventor project, and you can see he pretty much included the entire border and the title block. Here's his drill design, and there was one part that he had to design that made his drill design work, and so he focused on that part down in here. And in this slide over here, he included this slide because part of the project was to make an eye part for springs, so that by typing in different parameters into a spreadsheet, Inventor would automatically build a different size or type of spring. All of this is good stuff to show in your portfolio. Here are also some sample pages from a mechanical portfolio. I included these because this student shows an entire page and another entire page on one 17 by 11 sheet. And she did that several times. She also included her parts list and bill of materials and things like that for this assembly. And this is her drafting table design project that was built from a single sheet of plywood. So she printed these 4 sheets from Inventor. Actually, she screen captured them with sort of a sepia-toned background to give it a look like that these were more like traditional drawings. And I thought that was kind of a nice way to represent those drawings. Here are 4 slides from an electronic CAD portfolio. This is integrated circuit design. This is integrated circuit design. Both of these drawings were done using Cadence Virtuoso. This is a printed circuit board design, and this was done using Cadence Allegro. And then we have a schematic capture that was done, and this one I believe was done using Cadence OrCAD. So these are all good examples, and I believe this student up here, I believe, had about 30 sheets of integrated circuit drawings in their portfolio. And this student down here was a little bit broader because this student included IC layout and also printed circuit board design and also some of the schematics. I think their portfolio ran about 40 sheets. I included this slide because sometimes a student will try to create some art, kind of original art for their portfolio. So what this guy did was he took the elevation from a house that he drew in AutoCAD, that we drew in the course, the architectural residential course, and he captured that, and then he reversed the color on it so that the lines were white rather than black, and then he put it against this darker background. Then he screen captured his signature. He puts the name of the house on here, and then something that I thought was kind of cool, he made these thumbnails for Revit and for AutoCAD and for Showcase. So he did the art part of this using Showcase. The white graphic was done using AutoCAD, and then apparently he also worked Revit into the mix here. But he could include these thumbnails on each sheet to show which software was used to create each sheet. The evaluation of your portfolio. Near the end of the semester, you'll submit your portfolio to your professor for their final portfolio review. So I've got an extra review in there. Your professor may share your portfolio with other faculty members for their review as well. Your professor or professors will evaluate your technical drawings and graphics to assess whether or not you have mastered the learning outcomes defined for the degree or the certificate that you are seeking. When your portfolio meets the quality standards established by the program for the degree and the certificate, you will receive a grade for your portfolio, which means you've passed the portfolio class. If your portfolio is not accepted by the faculty at that time, you can request an incomplete grade for the course. This will allow you time into the next semester to continue working to improve your portfolio, and you can use the feedback you receive from your professor at the final portfolio review at the end of the previous semester. You must resubmit your portfolio to the faculty for their review by the date on the incomplete grade form. So that wraps up an overview of how we create a CAD portfolio here at Austin Community College. If you have questions, feel free to email me at douglas@austincc.edu.